values, no conservative fiscal values. He voted for the Heroes Act. Go to his open secrets and look to see who he takes money from, and that's it.
Are you able to share from your research or others?
It's on his website. It's his press release. Look at his press release. Look at his press release.
To show the votes, how he voted.
Yeah. I got it all up on YouTube already. I'm going to keep working on it, and it's not going to stop. And he's not going to delete it because he doesn't care. He does not care that the information has changed with regards to Dr. Fauci, with regards to the vaccines.
Because within the Republican Party in our blue state of Illinois,
yep,
and me having been involved since age 18 and having talked to voters, one of the things that I learned before I ever moved 18 years ago out of northwest suburban Cook County to live in Rockford here in Winnebago County, I was listening to registered voters in Rockford about a mayor's race, how they felt about the Republican Party and the local Democrat Party, and I learned that most voters here in Rockford didn't care for either the two major political parties when a candidate named Larry Morrissey ran as an independent. First time he ever ran for public office. Got elected running as an independent, not an independent political party, but as an independent. Then he got reelected for a second four-year term, and then reelected for a third four-year term before deciding not to run for a fourth four-year term. But when he ran as Hey, John.
Yo, I want to merge this call with this guy real quick.
I wasn't even able to vote yet. I hadn't changed my voter registration out of Northwest Suburban here to Rockford yet.
Hey, Michael, I just merged the call with my campaign manager, Max. I wanted to introduce you to Max. Max, this is Michael O'Toole.
Hey, Michael.
He's a precinct captain up in Winnebago in Rockford.
Trying to help you out as a first-time candidate going for such a high-profile public office position. Yeah. I'm trying to share some wisdom with you.
That's all. And I'm aware you're a precinct captain. I've been involved in the Republican Party for 15 years, but more in Cook.
But I've been involved in the Republican Party much longer is what I'm getting at.
That's awesome.
The knowledge and wisdom that I have versus
when did you start getting involved?
Of which you don't have.
When did you start getting involved, Michael?
Starting at age 18, and the thing that I didn't tell you, which I will right now, I just turned age 65 last fall of 2024 in October. So I'm now.
Oh wow!
Age.
So were you around like the Dennis Hastert days?
Yes.
What's your thoughts on him?
Before Dennis Hastert.
But
he got what he deserved.
Oh, good. You're not.
He got what he deserved. I lived in Palatine, Illinois.
Oh, wow.
When I turned age 18.
So you know Cook County.
When which was part of the 8th Congressional District, which is now Democrat controlled.
Yeah, it was a Republican when you were there.
And when I was in college, which was attending my senior year at Western Illinois University in 1982 when I got my Bachelor of Business degree.
Wow.
The 8th Congressional District also comprised Hoffman Estates and Schaumburg.
My father ran for the 8th Congressional District last election.
And Timmy Duckworth and their kids were living in Hoffman Estates.
Yeah, Joe Walsh.
In Schaumburg, within the local Republican Central Committee, which is township compared to, unlike here, where our Central Committee organization chairman in Schaumburg, it's the township elected.
It's Joe Polisi.
Who I'm surprised, because I knew Joe when I lived in Schaumburg. Joe lives a gay lifestyle.
He's a husband, and he also is a what's it called a car road guy.
So he did have a same-sex marriage, you're telling me?
I'm religious, so I don't believe in same-sex marriage, but he does have a quote-unquote civil partnership, yeah.
But he didn't actually have a legalized marriage.
No, he does. I just don't recognize it. He like the state of Illinois recognizes it. I just don't recognize it. So I'm religious.
Do you know the name of his spouse? Is it Ken? Because when
Ken, yeah. I think it is Ken.
His partner's his first name was Ken.
Yeah, because it's been the same guy for like 20 years, 20, 30 years.
And everybody in Hoffman State, Schaumburg area within the local Republican Party in suburban Cook County, in that area, who don't have a problem with Felici living a gay lifestyle.
They just don't know. So I live in Cook County. It's just the thing is he's very smart.
All the old timers knew he lived a gay lifestyle.
They know. But I'm saying, but most voters, because like it's elected by like Schaumburg voters, and he usually runs unopposed.
Correct. All I'm getting at is that he should never have held the party position that he currently holds.
Ever. He's very corrupt. And it's actually kind of sad. It's because like out of all of Cook County, he's the only club that has money because he actually sucks the money from the other clubs. Schaumburg has $60,000 right now, and your average club has like less than $1,000 cash on hand. It's because Joe Felici is like I almost compare him to like Frank Underwood from House of Cards because he's very good at like finding ways to get the money to his club. And also playing these political games, because I think if anyone ran against him, he would lose. And I did. The good news is I think he is retiring next election. So that's the good news.
The best advice I can give you as a candidate, I'm not saying you couldn't or shouldn't run. That's your prerogative. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't or couldn't run for the race that you decided to jump in and run for.
Well, I'm not running. John's running.
Yeah, I'm running against LaHood.
So I hear you. But Michael, the one thing I told you, so Michael, I've actually talked to a bunch of consultants, and the one thing, Michael, that you can't argue with me with is like there's probably 5 to 6 Republican districts where like a Republican candidate might have a chance to win. Like 11, like 10, like 8, as you mentioned, like 6, like 16. The real truth of the matter is LaHood's district is the easiest pathway for a Republican to win Congress because they just need to win a primary. As you're right, like LaHood is people like him. They should like him. He started the Trump-Russia investigation. He wants to raise the gun age from 18 to 21. He said that everyone in Southern Illinois was too stupid to not take the vaccine. And that he's such a genius, but everyone's too stupid to take the vaccine and Biden's so great.
Most Republican voters here in the 16th Congressional District in Winnebago County.
Oh no, they love him because LaHood's been there for they love Ray LaHood who supported Biden. I get it, Michael. But
And you want even my support, even though I can't vote for you or Darren.
Well, I'm not running, so you don't have to vote for me. I just want to save this conversation because.
Yeah, Michael, I'm here. Michael. I can hear you.
I'm trying to help you, John, as a candidate.
No, I get it, but Max just likes to talk. Go ahead.
I know most Republican voters here in Winnebago County, one of the largest populated counties in the entire state, because of the city of Rockford. The Republican voters just inside the municipal city limits of Rockford are very reluctant to trust any Republican Party candidate that comes out of Chicago. That's a fact.
Yeah, I know. I get it. But the point is, if I meaning
that any Republican Party candidate who lives in any of the 16th Congressional District counties that fully fall or partially fall in the 16th congressional district boundaries. Even
Michael,
if it's somebody
Michael,
coming out of
Michael, I hate
Winnebago
to,
County.
Michael, I get it, but I hate to break it to you. It's 2025. The internet and X and Instagram and YouTube, they've broken down all the barriers with regards to geographic proximity. Where you live means nothing. Who you came from and where you came from is much more important. And really, it's all about communication or lack thereof, failure to communicate. The point is,
Most voters just here in Winnebago County.
Michael,
As far as-
Michael, I hate to break it to you, but
Let me finish things. Again, for you, the candidate, if you just want to keep trying to talk over me instead of letting me finish my train of thought, I will hang up on you and you won't have my support.
I do. I want your support and I want to listen to you.
Respect.
I will give you respect and show you
Show
respect.
me respect.
I'm giving you respect.
You're
Tell
not
me.
gonna win. If you talk to voters the way you're talking to me tonight, you're not going to win. Have a chance of winning. Do I make my point?
Yeah, I hear you.
Then stop trying to talk over me.
Okay, hold on. Max wants to rejoin the call. Please hold. Yo, Michael, Max. All right, let's just relax. This is not supposed to be a confrontational call. It's just supposed to be a pleasant call.
Unless he's telling you not to run, because like honestly, like mathematically, it doesn't make sense. You know, because as I said, it's
I'm not saying you shouldn't run or couldn't run. That's totally me as a candidate's prerogative to choose to do.
In other words, it sounds like you're trying to bully him, and like in general,
no, I'm trying to help him.
Michael,
are you going to keep trying to talk over me? Because if you're, I'm hanging up right now.
I'm not. You sound like you're yelling and crying, but like just.
Stop talking.
No,
it's not talking. Right now.
So John's a veteran. So
that's why you just want talking to me.
We don't need to talk to you, but like you can. Do you want to confront the truth, or do you want to like just keep yelling and huffing and puffing? John, is this guy just huffing and puffing, or can we have a real conversation? Hello? I'm still here.
Yo, did he hang up?
Yeah, are we cool?
Yeah, we're good. I mean, I'm gonna call him back, but I mean, I don't really want to call him back. I mean, you know.
We don't have to. He's huffing and puffing. He obviously was there to tell you not to run. And like you're not running, so who gives a shit? Like
he doesn't even live in the district, and he's saying that I don't live in the district. How can I run if I don't live in the? You don't live in the district.
No, he's trying to huff and puff and tell you not. Like I know so much. You can't win, dude. You're trying to run for Cook County Commissioner. Don't tell him that shit because he's on the bad side. But like, no, fuck this guy. This is awesome that they're actually like. Honestly, what this means is that the media, like, because you have to realize that some of the media is liberal. I mean, a lot of the media is liberal, and so they want to embarrass the hood. And so I think they're going to actually prop you up to kind of embarrass the hood. People like Michael are just like, you're embarrassing the hood. The hood's a good man. Why don't you run it so you can't win here? And like, I've talked to all the consultants. It's a fact. It's like, so John, you're probably not even running for this race, but it's just a fact. Like, even my dad is being an idiot. Is like the easiest way to win Congress is the hood district. Because you only have to run a primary.
Yeah.
It's like I was getting a huge argument with this guy, Matthew Rusher, Make Illinois Great Again, and he couldn't debate me because he's running a guy in the. Are you 17 or 16?
It's 16. You know, what's amazing is like running for committeeman is no different than running for Congress. It's the exact same thing.
No, it's not. But you just get more press. But like, are you 17 or 16? I'm sorry.
It's 16.
Yeah, well, 17 is this guy named Dylan Mansell is running. I know his campaign manager, and I was arguing with him. And I'm like, you're such a fucking retard. This is before you're even running. I'm like, he says that he needs $7 million to win the race. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just run in a Republican primary against Mary Miller, LaHood, Boss? He's like, that's harder. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, how much would it take to beat LaHood. He said $700,000. I'm like, okay, so 10 times cheaper than what you need to spend for the general. And you see that guy huffing and puffing, like, what a bitch. I'm sorry to, like, I just saw what he was trying to do.
Well, it's crazy because it's like, you know, I talk to people in Clown House all day long, and it's like the guy basically wants to be on the podcast. That's what he's looking for. He wants to have a random conversation.
He wants to do John. You know, you're kind of missing it. Just because this is like a really fucked up world. It reminds me a lot of my grandma, rest in peace, Grandma Debbie, who was really into Hadassah and like her world. It's like what he's trying to. He wants to be a hero for LaHood. He wants to be the guy to say like, I got John out to run.
Well, it's the thing is nobody.
That's what this fucking was. He had no other reason to talk to you other than to like. I saw what the fuck he was about.
Oh well, the point.
Was he actually trying to help you? He was concern trolling. Did he say anything to actually help you in your life?
Well, that's why I say he just wants the dopamine feedback with me on the phone. That's all he's really doing, and he doesn't realize that he's wasting his time and my time. But the thing is, he's not really wasting.
And that's why I was rude, and so I apologize, but he didn't really mean shit. So I felt like just being like, "Fuck you."
See, he's not totally wasting my time because I mean I'm live streaming this, so it's like, you know, people can see.
I'm great.
Yeah, people can see what a congressman elect goes through.
That's what precinct captains are up to. Is they're telling people not to run for things.
Listen,
Against rhinos, and he doesn't care that LaHood wants to raise the gun age 21, or that he's for the vaccine, or that he started the Russia investigation. That doesn't matter. You don't understand. I lived in Palatine in 1985.
It was funny. He had a really thick Chicago accent.
Palatine in 1981, and I was a precinct captain. Like these people are just like I've had it.
It's wild, man. It's like a Clown House. It's like Clown House prior to Clown House.
Movie.
Well, just imagine how much time people have wasted actually in politics dealing with these people. So you know,
But John, was I wrong? Like, how right was I when I told you if you just announced to run for Congress that you would get this kind of attention? I was not lying to you at all.
Well, people are looking. See, what you're right about in the sense is that people want to shit on LaHood because they hate him. All these Democrats, and we live in a world of clown Democrats.
And Republicans too. Real Republicans shit on him too.
Yeah,
like a lot of Republicans that are like. So that's one thing I'm in another thread, and I raised a lot of good points, and then this other person chimed in. And I'm like, hey, but you still support like Darren Bailey, the child slaver, and you still support Tom DeVore, the baby murderer, and you still support Aaron Delmar, Mr. Hope Nose. And so, like, no.
My slogan is I am the Darren LaHood vaccine. I am the Darren LaHood vaccine, and basically
that was a great name. I love that you named yourself that.
He's the COVID-19 vaccine hero and Republican zero. He's literally just a NASCAR driver.
The good news, John, is I haven't introduced you to her, but one of your committee person I was just talking to earlier, and she's an honest person. She's like a person that like doesn't, isn't a part of the political life, and she agrees with us. Like, you see what LaHood said about vaccines. You see what he said about guns. You see what he said about the Trump-Russia investigation. You see what he said about just like spending Joe Biden infrastructure money. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Unless you're like a Michael O'Toole, and you should go back to Ace Hardware, that guy. What a real loser. Some of the X engagement data shows that like people are looking at it, and when I say that him and his dad had a falling out, and that his dad is a rabid anti-Trump derangement syndrome people, like there's so much gossip going on that this really could actually work. And John, when he says that kind of crap, it almost inspires me to spend the money to get you on the ballot. Because at the end of the day, and that's why, let's make sure your bank account is also connected to Square, Antidote, WinRed, all the accounts.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, it's motivating me to spend money and get people to spend money on you to make sure you're on the ballot. So it's not just till November. So that you can, do this for, a year.
Yeah, I mean, I can roast him for the next year. It's gonna be a big roast.
It would just cost money to get you on the ballot.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get the signatures because you're too far away. But we had the money. It's not like I might be down to put up some money and we can raise some money And like I was thinking about like, oh John, what are your thoughts on this? Is what if we did like a poker event? Because like I got invited to a poker game with my Jewish friends,
Mhm.
and I'm like, what if we did a poker game amongst like Congress candidates? And like the candidates don't even play. You guys like find someone to represent you.
We need some type of
Stuff like
content.
that, like raffles. You know, you can do raffles as a candidate legally. You
Yeah,
can apply to do a raffle. You can as a citizen. You can as a candidate.
I remember.
can
I remember
facilitate
that. Yeah, I remember that. That's an
And that's what I've been
interesting thing,
talking
too.
about. Yeah.
That's the kind of thing where I would be willing to put up money on an X ad campaign to see what we.
Because you can't do that as a citizen. It's actually a good financial deal.
I agree with you. That would be an incredible headline as well. Raffle to remove and replace Darren LaHood.
Yeah, and you actually get, or just like anything. It's just all the gambling addicts. Just raffle for $100.
See, you got to understand every single
raffle, period. Yeah.
every single hour of every single day is one more moment to post more content about Darren LaHood. So the thing is, we have to have some type of a viral event tied to Give, Send, Go, and essentially raise off of some type of viral campaign. It could be a montage.
What the hell was up with Michael O'Toole though? Like what the hell was that?
Max, people have mental health problems and they're strung really tight and they don't do any therapy. They don't go to the gym. They don't read Torah and they want to create dopamine. And that's the kind of guy he is.
This is a good explanation. Sometimes he was trying to help you.
He's not trying to help me.
He's
not trying to help me.
I was around since 1975. I lived in Palatine. I got Jim Edgar elected. I'm the reason why we had the pension crisis.
See, the thing is, that guy knows people in Rockford, and he can essentially be the mind virus that we need. So we do have to essentially help.
Whoa, no, Lana. Lana is a bigger deal than him.
Well,
because he's not on your side. You want people that can actually care.
No, I agree. The thing is, everybody has a time limit.
Okay, John. Over under vaccines on Michael O'Toole, 5.
Max, the point is everybody wants.
Over the under.
You got to realize this is like a call-in show, and people want their 5 minutes of fame, and that's all that guy really wants.
But do you think he's taking more or less than 5 vaccines?
I don't know. He's probably vaccinated. Most of these boomers are vaccinated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the.
Do you even know what the?
You have to deal with it. You're running for office. You have to deal with that shit. I don't have to deal with that.
Do you even realize that like 90% of the whole population took the vaccine? Like the acceptance and compliance rate was that high.
Yeah, not me.
Only one out of 10. Only 1 out of 10 people resisted the government. That just goes to show you that all communication is hypnosis. And there's no point not to run. Like Darren LaHood has got to go. He has to be replaced. He's got to be removed.
100%. He killed a bunch of people.
I want to get testimonies from people that have died.
Plus, he wants to raise the gun age to 21. How little respect. He wants to ship you off to war. But
he wants to kill you with a vaccine, and he wants you to die at an early age from gun violence. You know, he doesn't want you to protect yourself, and he doesn't want to train you. The guy's a fake-ass constitutionalist. He's a fake lawyer.
And John Kitover is a hero for running against him.
Listen,
Michael O'Toole is a tool.
I have an oath of office from being in the military, which is essentially like having a doctorate in a way. And he may have an Esquire, but we have both sworn to uphold the Constitution, but he doesn't uphold the Constitution. And he's no.
I think you have your anal virginity. I think you have your anal virginity, though. Right? Correct.
He went to some Catholic school in Iowa, so maybe he lost it there.
Yeah, I think that might be a difference maker too. But also being in the congressperson for that long.
Listen,
he's a career bureaucrat.
I want to call back Michael O'Toole because he's going to be great content, to tell you the truth.
No, you should. But if you want me on, let me on. But I'm gonna be calling him out. So just know that.
I know. You got to realize it's like a clown house room, though. People want to finish their thoughts, and there's no point in two people talking over each other unless you want to raise the emotional equation and piss them off.
No, I do. That's kind of that's what you understand about me. Is I don't like these people, and I want them to raise the emotional equation. And so understand that about me is that I think Michael O'Toole people are part of the problem.
He is part of the problem. He has a failure to communicate because he called me, left me a voicemail, didn't even state his business. He just say, "Call me back. I'm the OG." That's the kind of guy Michael O'Toole is. He's a fucking tool.
I thought he was trying to big dick you, and I'm like, what the hell?
He's a tool.
You're an Illinois GOP PC captain, and you don't give a shit about the Russian investigation or raising the gun age or COVID vaccines. What is wrong with you? And you're bragging about living in Palatine in the 1980s? Who gives a shit?
He's 65 and bored. Max, he lives in Rockford. He's bored. He's 65. He's the boredest guy you've ever heard. Boredom is part of the problem. This was the most exciting conversation he's ever had.
Exactly. So if he wants the smoke, he can get the smoke.
Yeah, well, he self-roasted at his own barbecue. I mean, I called him back.
I'm sure if I called him, he'd answer and we talked for 2 hours. Like, I'm sure. Like,
yeah. I agree. And
I'm not going to take his bull. I'm not going to listen to his bullshit.
What was that guy? What was the name of that guy in Schaumburg that you called out? He had like $60K in his party fund.
Joe Felici. Who was a husband. Yeah.
That was a good part of the conversation. So, I don't know. See, you got to realize this whole thing.
If you need me, but also if you want me to like be quiet, I can be quiet too. Just let me know what.
Listen, I'm live streaming this.
I thought he was trying to bully you.
I'm live streaming this, and I created a clip of that convo. But that's just the first go at the tool. I say the O'Toole becomes a regular on the podcast. That's my opinion.
I agree, and I think that everyone listening is we have to raise the amount of money for John so that party can go on, and we can make sure he gets the signatures he needs.
I agree. Go to the Give, Send, Go. Go to the GoFundMe. Go to Instagram.com/John Kitover right now and subscribe to the campaign to remove and replace the vaccinologist, Darren LaHood, the 21-year-old gun grabber.
If you guys gives like $30, that really can go a long way. We'll make sure we stretch it to make sure that John gets on the ballot.
I say you give me $10 right now. 10, not 11. 10, not 9. Make it a $10 donation right now.
Yeah, please, guys.
Hit the link in the campaign video. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Max, let's call O'Toole back tomorrow and ask him for more political advice.
Yeah, we'll talk about Palatine and Rosemont and all this nonsense. And he knew Papa John. We'll learn about that and all the nonsense. All right. Good talking to you, John.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
Myself. A peaceful disposition, teach me, O God, to seek only peace. Save me from every form of argument, controversy, and quarrel. Liberate me from every type of misunderstanding and strife. Where there is no peace, there can be no joy, there can be no love, there can be no true presence of mind. Dear God, let me be mine to share. Contentment, dear God, save me from wanting what is not mine. Protect me from my own jealousy, from desiring the money or the possessions, the position or the honor that belong to another. Let me trust in you enough to believe that what is meant to be mine will come to me. Let me trust in you enough to be satisfied with all that I have today. Self-esteem, dear God, let me feel close to you. Grant me satisfaction with my life. Let me rejoice in that closeness, and let me turn with that satisfaction into a sense of self-worth, not one based in arrogance or in feelings of self-importance, but humble as self-esteem rooted in holiness. Arrogance, dear God, free me of false pride. Free me of the arrogance that accompanies an inflated self-image. Spare me from haughtiness, from the overloaded ego which stems from an empty self. Let me learn to feel good about myself. Let me never feel the need to belittle anyone in order to find value and worth, in order to feel valued and worthy. A haven of joy. Teach me the meaning of joy, dear God, strong, deep, genuine, and pure joy. Don't let me succumb to feelings of sadness, loneliness, and depression. Teach me to turn to you with my every problem, frustration, anxiety, and pain. Accept my broken heart. Heal me and shelter me in a haven of joy. Clapping and dancing, dear God, stir my heart with a spirit of joy, imbue my arms and my legs with that spirit. For my arms are encumbered, and my legs have become heavy with my wrongdoings. Fill me, my God, with the cleansing spirit of holy joy. Enliven all my limbs. Help me raise my hands and clap. Help me lift my feet and dance, dance, dance. Overcoming loss, dear God, suddenly I'm alone, I'm in pain as I search for some source of comfort. The world so full, so bustling, seems so empty now. It's cold and it's frightening. In this hollow that is me, in this hollow that once brimmed with confidence and joy. God pulled me back to the world of the living, back to a life of action and human relationships. And thanks, loving, caring God, all that happens in fulfillment in my life come only from you. Knowing how absolute in my dependence on you, I find peace of mind. Your presence suffuses my life, caressing me with hope, joy, and love. I've tasted your love, I've known your compassion, experienced your patience, and I am filled with gratefulness. Thoughts. An entirely new world. It is impossible to describe how wonderful it was in those early years, Reb Nachman said to the Hasid. They were strolling through the outskirts of the village where the Reb had spent the first years of his marriage worshipping and serving God in relative anonymity. With each step I took in these fields, praying and calling out to God, I experienced yet another taste of paradise. On another occasion, Rabbi Nachman described what it was like returning home after a day spent crying his heart out to God in the fields or forest. Coming back, everything appeared different to me. The world seemed entirely new. In praise, O God, I only begin to realize how very much you've done for me. I must now internalize the understanding that everything that happens to me, everything is an expression of your everlasting love, of your concern for my ultimate good. God, as I recognize all your goodness, as your kindness fills my thoughts, I sing your praise. Light of awareness. God, let me comprehend all that I see with the light of awareness. Let me understand whatever touches my life in a deep and intimate way, in a way that embraces both the adult and the child within me. Enveloped in faith, my God, you and only you know how strongly I want to believe in you, to put all my faith in you alone. Help me make this desire a reality. Help me perceive your presence and draw strength from it. Every moment of my life, through every trial I face, let that recognition bolster my faith in you wherever I go, whatever I do. Accepting God's justice, God, help me see. Help me understand all that I see in the light of your truth, in the light of your ultimate justice. When I see the success of the wicked, help me realize that it is but an illusion. Nothing authentic, nothing real. Real success, true good, absolute happiness are found only with you, dear God of truth, and one day I will see it, experience it, and know it. Overcoming doubts, my vision is distorted. Loving God of truth, I want to see clearly, but my heart leads me through twisted, convoluted paths of misunderstood impressions. Straighten those paths so that I can strengthen myself in the conviction of my beliefs. Learning life's lessons. Dear God, let my heart grasp the profound wisdom with which you created the world. Help me understand that life's difficulties are in fact her opportunities. Life's endings are also her beginnings. Life's disappointments are her finest teachers. Learning life's lessons, dear God, let my heart grasp the profound wisdom with which you created me. Help me understand that my vulnerabilities, in fact, open me to growth. My limits draw me to new frontiers. My very failures teach me to succeed. Perceptions, body and soul, Holy One, grant me the wisdom to bring harmony to the alliance of my body and soul. Let them rise together in my devotion to you. My soul perceives your light. Let my body discern it too. My soul sounds your praise. Let my body sing it too. Focus prayer, oh dear God.
Ribono Shalom, Ribono Shalom, Rabbi, I think I've wasted my seed. Did I create a demon in the abyss, Rabbi? Ribono Shalom. Nura, you
And
look
say
like...
hello to Comedian. Comedian is the only veteran that I actually like. I mean, this guy didn't even fight anymore, but he's sucking the living shit out of the welfare system.
Show me the 14. Let's see if he was.
Rabbeinu Shalom, Hashem does miracles in strange ways. Nura, you look like the next Shahada victim of my dreams. Have you already ascended into the... What is Muhammad's heaven called?
It's called the harem.
How do you say in Arabic heaven?
Jannah.
Jannah. You look like you're dressed for Jannah in a Gucci magazine in Kuwait. Did you see Donald Trump saved 100 American hostages that the Kuwaiti police were holding Americans hostage and they were blackmailing them? These Arab Muslim bastards overseas were holding Americans hostage. I mean, don't get me wrong, just because they believe Muhammad is, the chosen one of Allah and the updated Jesus Christ 2.0, the point is, if you fuck around, you'll find out what American justice is. Generally, it's just a letter, and that's all it takes.
I like to call it Israeli justice.
Call it what you want, but what we have here is a failure to communicate.
Maybe we could just call it justice.
The law and diamonds and jewelers, they're all intertwined. It's all jewelry. Some people don't like diamonds. Some people prefer sapphires. Some people like pearls. Those went out of fashion. Then everybody started liking sapphires. Rabbeinu Shalom. There's a gemstone for everyone. Oh, hey, Julian. What's going on with Mangione, your boyfriend, lover, killer in jail? What's the latest news?
Not boyfriend, serial killer. I think last news was that he pled guilty and he's going to trial. Not guilty.
So anyways, this room is about wasting your seed, which is really your opportunity cost, your time, your life essences, your forces. So Dr. Julian, how do you create a force in the universe?
But Diego, definitely nobody was beheaded from or burnt. Those were lies for sure.
Nobody what?
You know how they said they said that there was 40 beheaded babies? That never happened.
I know.
That's the fake news.
My friend is saying right now, he's like, well, why are you even why did you feel it necessary to share that story was a lie? Is that like no kids died? Where are you going with this is what he's asking me. Even though I had no particular place I wanted to go, I just wanted to show him that not everybody in Israel thinks like him. He was born in Israel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is the guy that used to date my sister.
That's what I thought. And I think you're an anti-Semite. Your best friend is an Israeli Jew.
Well, he doesn't invite me out anymore.
You figured out that you were a Nazi white supremacist, low IQ loser who's always on a social audio chat app debating Simon? Simon, who barely speaks English?
You have your lava chicken. Did you go viral?
Yeah, we probably got like 30,000 views on the lava chicken. Steve's lava chicken.
That's next to Diego. Well, why don't you be nice?
I am being nice. This is me being nice.
Nura, he wouldn't be a Jew if he didn't stab him.
Did you hear what Bibi did, Diego?
Bibi?
The guy Bibi on here?
Oh, what did he do?
He's threatening to sabotage my case.
Really? He's going to sabotage you?
Because Tim was saying stuff and I was mod.
What were you saying?
I wasn't saying anything. Tim was saying stuff, but I was mod.
Oh, well, don't worry. Bibi's all hot air.
That's something that you can't trust any Jews.
Oh, give me a
Kinda
break.
scary.
BB is all hot air. You know, he ate a bag of Doritos and drank a large Coca-Cola before he belched on you. Just relax.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, Big Mouth BB. I know Big Mouth BB. Talks a big game. He loves the... Nora, don't you realize that Clown House is just a dopamine game for fat people who don't want to read books or go to the gym? That's the whole thing. It's a game. You're pathetic.
But you should be kind, comedian.
This is me being kind. This is me being compassionate and friendly, telling fat people to read books and go to the gym and stop, wasting your life on a short-term, dopamine from this app, which is just purely hypnosis for entertainment or comedy. But believe me, the only action people actually take on this app is they report each other, and that's it. Other than that, nobody's probably ever done a thing. There's been a couple murders, a couple problems, but for the most part, not a big deal. It's mostly all bullshit. So get a life.
Lava lava chicken.
Yeah, I was in the room.
Oh, Julian, you were in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty gross. I was playing Tetris, so I wasn't paying attention.
Diego, I released a press release today for my campaign as I run for the 16th Congressional District here in Illinois. Do you want to hear what I wrote?
Yeah, but I can't vote for you either way.
It doesn't matter. I need you to give, send, go, because we're going to Congress, and I'll get your case overturned with Alvin Bragg. I'll have the Attorney General in New York reprimanded by the Supreme Court. I got you, bro.
You would do that for me?
I got
What's
Wasta.
wrong with
Ask Dr. Rabbi here. I got Wasta. If I win, I got Wasta. I can change the laws.
Motherfucker, I ain't listening to
I'm
you.
a lawmaker now. This is not ChatGPT, but this is
You
what.
know, you would, like as they say in Dumb and Dumber, you would totally redeem yourself if you did something like that for me.
Look, Donald Trump just the Trump family deal just financed a $4 billion real estate development project using Trump coin. Okay, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah, Trump coin. Isn't that kind of like a constitutional crisis right there?
Do you have any idea what the market cap of Trump coin even is?
No, I don't actually.
It's $200 billion. Did you also see that the United States Financial Corporation inked a deal with Ukraine to guarantee the economic redevelopment of Ukraine, costing taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars? The White House just inked that deal with Zelensky. It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, the taxpayers here are getting sold down a river day by day, hour by hour, and you're just a victim of a wild runaway government, which is persecuting you. Not because you're an anti-Semitic schmuck, but because you're an innovative business leader. You know,
What do I gotta do to make, to get that free money?
you got to buy low, sell high, stack. Buy low, stack it high, sell it cheap. What do you mean? There's no numericals in terms
Is that
of.
what Zelensky did for us?
Well, what's the praxeologist take on the situation? You seem to know everything.
Shit, man.
You're a self-taught
Zelensky was
economist.
A term coined by a Jew.
You think the Jews created everything, don't you? It's almost like you believe their story more than you do. That's how stupid you are.
Oh.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. You psyoped yourself. You're trying to reverse the psyop. In the process, you psyoped yourself for being stupid. That's how communication works. Because Jew is just a three-letter word.
The psyop is to convert.
Convert to
And not
what?
just for the jokes.
Convert to what?
Judaism.
Oh,
If you can't
you're
beat 'em,
gonna
join 'em.
you're gonna deconvert from Catholicism and convert to Judaism. That's beautiful.
Is that what we call it? Deconversion? What do the Muslims call it? What do you call it? Reconversion?
Reversion?
Reversion. So for Jews, it's deconversion.
It's like it's like taking a Tesla into to the dealership and saying put a 6-cylinder engine in here. They're like, what? They're like, you're like, take it out. And you're like, but why? And you're like,
No, it's
because
more.
I
No,
want
it's
to
more like
deconvert.
please take off all the bumpers, and make sure not to snip off more than you have to.
Well, anyways, do you want to hear my press release today from my political campaign? It's going viral. It's going viral. These are the top 4 reasons not to vote for Darren LaHood, the incumbent of the 16th District, a Republican rhino. Number 1, vaccines and propaganda fraud. Number 2, high-speed internet scam.
Are you running for city councilman or
no,
what are you
Illinois congressman in the 16th District, the center of Illinois, farm country, God country.
They have they don't call them districts there. They call them something else though.
Number 3, ever-rising property and income taxes. But you don't pay income taxes, so you don't have to worry about that. Number 4, rhino clown Democrat scammer, a.k.a. bullshit Republican lawyer. To the voters and citizens of the 16th District in Illinois, the time to primary and replace Darren LaHood is now. Darren is a COVID-19 pandemic vaccinologist and a high-speed internet infrastructure big spender who does not represent Republican conservative fiscal values. The Republicans of the 16th District must fight against the Democrat industrial complex of Illinois. Pritzker, Brandon Johnson, and dozens of other big spending, high-tax hypocrites and hypocrites and criminal Democrats that have bankrupted Illinois and plunged your financial future and retirement into a death spiral of big government and perpetual debt. Darren LaHood does not have the strength or joy to fight the criminal Democrats that have made Illinois into a lawless and debt-ridden society of clown Democrats. Illinois has over $200 billion in future debt liabilities. The U.S. government is spending nearly $100 billion a month on a $40 trillion mortgage.
Yeah, but the governor is a billionaire.
Without radical and substantial spending changes, the taxpayers, aka the homeowners and business owners of Illinois and the 16th District, will never escape rising property taxes, sales taxes, and the dozens of other taxes the communist state of Illinois imposes upon its citizens. Abraham Lincoln, God rest his soul, a Republican patriot, is looking down upon the goodwill of the 16th District and asking her Republican patriots to fight with strength and wisdom. The Democrat Communist clown state of Illinois is an immoral collection of delusional debt radicals. Remove Darren LaHood from Congress, vote John Kitover for 16th District, and put a fierce lion and patriot into Congress to fight for the USA and the land of Lincoln. Patriots of Illinois and the 16th District, follow me on Instagram.com/John Kitover. What do you think? That's
But you know, he got assassinated.
Rockford, Peoria, Bloomington, Pekin, Sycamore, Morris, Belvedere, Oregon, Cambridge, Freeport, Pontiac, Dixon, Princeton, Illinois, towns you've never heard of. But I need your vote. We have to primary and replace fake rhino Darren LaHood.
I mean,
also, Marshall Rankin.
Abraham Lincoln, yes, was from Illinois, but how much time did he actually spend in Illinois?
Marshall Rankin volunteered for my campaign, but then I asked him, "Who did you vote for, Kamala or Trump?" He's like, "I voted for Trump." No, duh. And then I was like, "Well, who did you vote for, Joe Biden or Trump?" He's like, Biden. I'm like, "So why would I want a fucking Democrat working for my campaign?" He's like, "Fuck you, Edmund."
Did that take you a lot of time to draft?
No, I literally did it in like probably 35 minutes. And published it. And I literally sent it to I got contacted by a newspaper here in the Chicagoland area, and this was the press release I sent to them.
The Chicago Tribune?
No, it's in Crystal Lake. It's some small news agency.
Sometimes it's called the Crystal Lake
Gazette. Yeah, I think that's it. Something like that.
You know, if it's called the Gazette, then you know it's not that big.
It doesn't matter. It's gonna go on. It's gonna go on the internet, and then you post the content. You gotta understand is these people create a lot of content, and in fact, most of these congressmen, their whole business is just trying to be a social media influencer now. It's unbelievable. They don't actually do anything other than vote on huge spending bills for special interest lobbyists, and all they do is work on creating clips and putting them on YouTube and Instagram. And they're making $200,000 a year plus a pension and all expenses and a retirement package. If you get elected to Congress, you are guaranteed millions of dollars in income over the course of your life. Is that really fair? You know?
You make it sound so easy.
Do you know how hard it is to get elected into Congress? It's very challenging.
Maybe I should.
You should run.
That was elected
Do you realize that running for committeeman in Chicago, which is a non-paid position in the Republican political party here in the Chicagoland area, was more difficult to run than it is to run for Congress? It takes 15 minutes to file to run for Congress, and that's it. 15 fucking minutes, and you show up.
To get elected as like mayor of Chicago, the level of nigger-kikistry that would have to be demonstrated. That would be fucking insane. Like I don't know how you would do it.
Listen, the South Side is fully automated.
You have to get like a lesbian, a black,
How did AOC do it?
Oh, she
Well,
that's
she got a sweet ass.
yeah, but that filthy spick, said, I'm just a girl from the Bronx, but no, she was like from Long Island.
No, she's from Queens.
And she's Jewish. She's Jewish on top of it. And AIPAC has given her millions.
You know why AIPAC sucks? Is because AIPAC, they get the right wing or the Republicans to shut your filthy spick mouth. Jesus Christ.
Hi,
Monica. They get all of their money. They get a bunch of their money.
Wait, please hold, Pepe.
This the right wing, and then the Republicans, like good little faggots, say like puppet all of their talking points. But then they go ahead and spend most of that money on the Democrats, making sure that they get to, I guess, get Democrats that will at least talk easy or speak easy on Israel, but, still be a bunch of left-wing faggots. I mean, I would say AIPAC's a real big problem.
They give out a lot of money. They raise a lot of money because Jews trust AIPAC to help support the state of Israel.
Yeah, and fuck whether or not it helps fuel or fund Democrats and their left-wing agenda, at least in the United States, as long as they care about Israel.
You mean to tell me you don't want to keep working and paying taxes to help support the state of Israel? What about the state of Ukraine? The United Financial Corporation just inked a 20-year deal to rebuild Ukraine.
It's wiped off the face of the map or the face of the map first. Ukraine or Israel? It's going to be Israel like 20 times out of 20. A million times out of a million.
Did you see this Shiloh video of this woman being accosted by this? Yeah, it's unbelievable. She is going to be on. She's going to be on Fox News by Friday, and she's going to raise $500,000. Her life is forever changed. This piece of shit changed this woman's life. She won the fucking lottery.
Did you see that he was charged with fucking rape 2 years ago?
It's unbelievable.
He got doxxed. So he thought he was going to dox her, but then it turns out he's just a Somali rapist. Amazing.
Did you see seasonal COVID shots are going to no longer be available because of Robert F. Kennedy and Donald Trump, that Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J aren't going to be able to push the vaccine on you this flu season come June?
Yeah, a lot of you guys are
That's right.
You guys spurg about the vaccines, but that's fine.
Well, you're fully vaxxed, and you're like 4'11". I mean, you're gonna live like the life of a midget.
I got the vaccine, and then like I haven't gotten a vaccine.
Which one did you get?
Years. The Johnson & Johnson one.
Oh, dude, that's the cheap one.
That's the one that's not an RNA or whatever vaccine. So
that's what. So like, without naming names, like when I talk to my guy in New Jersey who deals in the government, he's like, yeah, we need the Johnson & Johnson just to give it to the homeless people.
I feel like
the reason I got it is because they were like giving them out. Like there was a grocery store that closed down, and the parking lot was being used to give jabs. And my dad called me. He's like, "Hey, dude, there's like they're giving COVID shots across the street. Maybe you want to get one." I'm like, "All right, fine, fuck it." Just so he said like some of the work restrictions I had, and so I got it. And I think I got one of those Moderna boosters a few months later. And that was like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago.
Wait, you mixed Johnson & Johnson with Moderna boosters?
Yeah, so that was the
What the fuck's wrong with you? I think the same person, man.
I can still fuck several times a day. I have not dropped dead. I've not gotten an illness. I was supposed to die a few years ago. Okay, I mean, Jesus Christ.
I probably had sex with a couple of vax girls at this point.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they might need a different kind of vaccine if they... Never mind, I'm just kidding. A bad joke.
Yeah, but for Rico, since he never got vaccinated, there's like on his Like
You gotta understand, the spike protein is the bioweapon. You've got to go to Twin Tower City. You got to understand this was a major medical disaster, that the sudden deaths, the unexpected deaths are so far outside of the standard deviation. Do you know, I mean, I know people that died as a result of the injection who had pre-existing conditions, but their pre-existing conditions were enhanced and destroyed by the spike protein. They're literally poisoned and killed prematurely. Like, they could have lived a longer life. Reboino Shiloloim, the Pfizer one was developed, unfortunately, by someone who you might say wore a party hat. You know, there's a lot of new party hats all around, but the point is, the now is all important, and you're still here on Clown House wasting your lives, you know, talking about nothing.
So are you every day.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy show, and Pepe's one of my best participants. Your YouTube shorts are going viral, Dr. Pepe. I don't know if you see my newest account.
Most eccentric Jewish man on Clubhouse.
I'm not Jewish. I'm a cashew. Get it straight. My mother's gorgeous. My father's the Jew who converted to Christianity. But the point is,
you filthy half ape. That is you know that is how you spend your time.
The point is, you and Mon were a sensation for a hot minute. Then you ditched her because you're a racist and you couldn't handle the heat. Yeah, you did. You're still doing rooms. When are you going to do your next Howard Stern room?
Do you understand? Okay, to be somebody like to do what I used to do, and you're gonna just lose an audience. It's like, how do you want to just like go out while you were still somewhat, I don't know, relevant? Like, sure, why not? But you literally keep this shit going on all day. You're like glued to your phone. It's like, I don't want to do that shit. I've gone back to like doing music shit, and so I can't like when you guys see me in rooms and I'm quiet for long periods of time, it's because I generally have headphones or studio speakers, and I can sometimes hear what's being said. Like, I can't I'm just not participating.
Well, what a waste of damn time. You make music.
Something sort.
Everything you guys say is music to my ears. I love you all. Keep going. Let's make music together. Let's make sweet harmony.
I was different type of art, but I've always been into music.
Well, we need to wake shit up. We need to get more racist. We need to attack one another. Go ahead.
That's right. Yeah, we need to figure out why black women have smelly hair.
You need to figure out why. That's because they don't wash it, bro.
Middle Eastern women have for whatever reason have a stinky breath problem. They have snail trails in their dark hair, like really illustrates
snail trail. I mean, I kind of think I know what the hell.
Well, there's a snail trail that you leave with your creamy, slimy snatch if you're a horny slut. Like, you sit on a motorcycle and it's just like, all of a sudden it's like, wow.
Shit. Okay, let me ask you this.
But then there's the happy trail that goes like, I remember I was in a grocery store.
With a hairy ass.
But I remember being in a grocery store and there was a woman and I think she was, because this was in, hold on, shut up. You shut up, whore. This is a space.
Hell, this is a house of learned men.
Yes. Learn your fucking place. So, I was in Massachusetts, and, you know, it's largely ethnically Italian at the time. She could have been a sand digger. I can't tell the difference between some of these Southern Italians and them, if I'm being honest. But, like, I was like, wow, she's good looking. She's with her mom. I was, like, 19 at the time, to put things in perspective. And then she, like, turns around. And then she's wearing like a halter top, and I just see like this gnarly, and I mean fucking gnarly, black like fucking spine of hair going down her back to like where her butt was. Like,
yeah, she was Italian.
So gross, so fucking disgusting.
But the Northern Italians, I think, are the master race of women.
Well, they're largely Germanic.
Ever since the time of Columbus, the Northern Italians have always looked down on us Southern Italians and held their nose to us. I hate the Northern
My
Italians.
question is, why does no one like black women? Can you go in order and tell us why? you
Because
don't like
they're
black
fucking apes. That's why.
Do you want the
Yeah,
per
what?
capita response, or do you want the per
I like
capita?
black women.
Well, Pepe, can you repeat what you said?
Because they look like fucking apes.
Tyler's pretty hot.
Yeah, you know, here's what's annoying is everybody's gonna be like, well, you say like black people are stupid, which is, statistically on average, yeah, they're the dumbest race on the planet.
Pepe, you do realize if
But
the
it's just like,
African
they'll bring up,
Americans,
they'll bring up exceptions to the rule, and it's just like, look at whoever. You can look at Thomas Sowell, who's like smarter than most like two white people's intelligence put together. That's fine. The difference between groups of people is literally the distribution of traits like intelligence. Like, there's always going to be smart people of every other fucking race. Like, it doesn't matter.
So why do you think black people are dumb? Do you think it's in their blood, or do you think it's a cultural thing?
I think it's mostly genetic.
Okay, so you think that their genetics create the culture rather than the culture creates
Pretty much, yeah.
You sound genetically dumb.
Well, Tyler's hotter than like 10 white bitches put together, so.
Who?
She is. She's beautiful.
Who's this black whore you're talking about?
She's South African. Right, El?
Okay, can you guys bring in Mama Jazzy?
I don't know.
Through the other side.
Probably.
We need to bring in Mama Jazzy, please.
You know, the only time I've seen like a dead gorgeous black woman, I'm just being dead honest, it's been a mixed woman where she just seems to get like the best like features, or maybe like she's primarily like has white features, but she has these accentuated features that she maybe got from the black side, and that is an exception to the rule. It's like a lot of biracials look like fucking goblins.
But what kind of biracials? Are you referring to the mix of
Black and white.
Okay, so Pepe, do you think that the black man is the link between the white man and the ape?
No, I don't think so. I think if you look at like genetically, there's been admixture with them in sub-Saharan Africa with the archaic hominid that was kind of like an ape-like human that existed after the quote-unquote great migration out of Africa, where we all evolved separately. So I mean, they based it. There was kind of like a reversion.
but Pepe, why do you think
Be more ape-like.
Why do you think African Americans say that everyone is African American and that white people lived in caves and lost their melanin and thus
It's just
they're just
coping.
demelanated?
Like, why did they say they're
But what
indigenous
is the
to
true
original Native Americans?
what
They
is the
think
true
it's
story
fucking
then?
niggers.
What's
Why
the
did they say
truth?
that-
What's the
Why
truth
do they
of the
say
earth and what's the correct math?
Yeah, the Chinese dynasties in Rome was black. We was Romans. Why did they say Jesus was black? You know, the real is, that ties back to the Hebrew Israelite bullshit. Why did they say all
But
this
do
shit?
you think it's maybe because of an identity crisis? Because you guys put them in museums and you forced them to rape each other in breeding farms? Could it be that's why?
No, I think it's because if you even look outside of the United States, wherever black people are, outside of, yes, in the western half of the hemisphere,
Well, Pepe,
they were brought here as slaves. But even if we look at Africa,
I agree with you. I just want to hear you say, I take no responsibility for the devastation that happened to the black people. That's all I want.
oh sure, okay. Here's how I look at it. Yes, they were absolutely taken advantage of by the white man. They were used as farm equipment. That was about it. We didn't have John Deere factories back then. Now, when it comes to the state of their race, their people, I think that regardless, they just look at Africa. The only semblance of I guess you could say, like, the modern world that you get are in pockets of where there was, colonialism. And I'm just being honest. Like, these people are not. It's actually kind of cruel. It's like taking monkeys from a zoo, and I'm not.
Okay, but do you think that colonialism played a good part in civilizing the primates?
It civilized them.
Okay, but then what do you say about the Indians? I mean, the English, clearly, the Indians still wiped their ass with their hands. So did the English do a good job? It doesn't seem like this.
I would say that the English are pieces of shit. So I just want to get that straight. Of all the white men,
Well, they were better than the French.
when it comes to forming countries in the New World, yes.
Okay, so would you agree with me when I say that some people actually accepted the civilization given by the English, but other people like the Indians didn't? And then the next question would be, if you do agree, then could it be that the colonial power isn't the one doing good or bad, it's the colonized people who are accepting the good or not accepting it? For example, the Indians rejected civilization. Is that the case?
To some degree. Here's the problem with Anglos, and this is where Anglos are perpetual faggots. Yes, they did settler colonization where they sent families or men and women intact units that basically have sex with each other, institute a white majority. The Spaniards, they did their shit, but they just, when you just go to conquer, you're just sending young men and they're just going to miscegenate immediately. And that's what they did. And, but whenever the English, look at South Africa, when the Dutch or the Afrikaners had South Africa, they had a brutal war where they literally put them in the Dutch in concentration camps. When the English took over, what did they do? What they always do. They import a bunch of cheap fucking labor from the rest of Africa. They only care about, their economic interests. They don't care about demographic change. And you can even look, if you look at mass immigration in the United States, people are always going to say, oh, it was the Jews. No, it was actually the fucking Anglo-industrial Northerners that said, well, we need more cheap labor. We need more fucking consumers. So what did they do? They advertised far and wide in Eastern and Southern Europe and parts of Western Asia. And then all of a sudden you get a flood of Guineas and Slavs and Jews that came here.
Very weird too, because at the end, you start sucking a male cock, and nobody gives a fuck about any of that nonsense, you fucking weirdo. So
you're not even making sense. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Why you out of breath?
Okay, you're not making. It's not even relevant.
What the fuck you out of breath for, kid? Huh?
Oh, I was walking. Maybe my mic's loud.
What the fuck?
I don't know, you pussy. Just shut your faggot mouth.
All right.
But anyways, we're derailing. But when it comes to the Anglos, they've always done shut the fuck up, you faggot. Somebody kick this queer. Who is this homo?
No.
Okay. I guess the other people meant the serious people left. All right. This retard, he can't make any points. He got power. He got the power to troll a room when it was already ending and leave. So I'll go ahead and leave. I'm not giving this faggot any clout.
Oh, it's Boney. Hey, Boney. He gone. Hey, David. Ribayna ishalaylaim. Ribayna ishalaylaim.
So comedy, why do black women have smelly hair?
I don't know. You have to ask Hampton Spears. He knows the truth.
I haven't seen Hampton Spears in forever.
Somebody tweeted, comedian, actually, never mind. I don't want this to be on recording. Your phones are too close to each other, they're making noise.
So, the president has proposed a budget that will come to the Congress. It has come to the Congress.
Alright, I'm going to the gym. I'm gonna let this room run since I was made the Green Bean King. You will all now have to suffer my YouTube video.
I want to pray that the distractions are never ending. Please help me overcome them. Help me be wholly focused for once. Help me pray only true, totally heartfelt words to you, dear God. Wise counsel, O God, how can I make my way through the confusion and uncertainty that cloud so much of what I do? Guide me to wise teachers and mentors, whose advice is pure and in tune with your will. Guide me to true friends whose counsel is caring and promotes my best interests. Guide me to clear, correct decisions to conclusions that are sound and free of all doubt. Clarity and assurance, O God, grant me clarity and assurance in whatever I do. Teach me to trust in wise teachers, to learn from their insightful words, to teach me to trust in true friends, to treasure their care and concern. Teach me to trust in myself, to judge my own course correctly, and so to live with conviction and hope.
Surprisingly, a large number of individuals choose Medicare plans that actually require special approval on 70%.
Seeing light in darkness, God of unfathomable goodness, the history of human agony haunts my soul. Ashes, blood, and cries pierce my heart. Diabolic schemes of oppressors plague my mind. Grant me an extra measure of strength, understanding, and faith to help me find you, to discover your light amidst the blinding dread, through the revolting horror. Sorting through confusion, God of truth, help me sort through the dizzying confusion of my life. My mind swirls with all that I've seen and that I've read, all that's happened to me. Teach me to focus, to prioritize, to see with clarity, so that I can move on with my life. A humble spirit, dear God, guide me along the path of sincere humility. If I ever put on airs, stop me. Bless me with a humble spirit, with eyes that see only the good in people, with a mind always open to others' opinions, with a heart which caring of their concerns. Teach me to humble myself even before the lowliest of your children, whose very brokenness brings them closer to you. Finding good. Oh, loving God, help me discover and uncover all that is good, all that is positive in the world. Camouflaged though they may be, let me find those elusive sparks of holy light. Let me perceive all the beauty and truth hidden within your creation. Finding good when I am confronted with baseness and evil, let all the bad fall away before me, that all the good and goodliness that lies hidden within everyone I meet shine forth and emerge as a grand reflection of beauty and light. Losing control. Oh, how much good I've lost in losing control of my anger. Such a large portion of my life. So much growth I've let slip from my hands by allowing my burning thoughts to get the better of me. God, teach me to let go. Maintaining perspective, oh God, please help me comprehend that life in this world is fleeting, hardly more than a fantasy. At this moment I am here, as are those around me. Where will I be? Where will they be? In an hour, in a day, in a year, or in 10? Help me hold in my mind an image of the world that awaits me, of the life eternal that will follow my stay in this place of momentary fascination and reverie. And thanks my God, it has taken me time, but I'm finally learning to trust you. When I called, you answered. When I cried, you sent relief. When I was in need, you came through. You are there for me in every instance. I need only look, think, and understand, and I can always find you. There you are, always ready to help. Thank you, God, for waiting for me. Will wanting to wait in one of his most powerful statements, Rebbe Nachman unequivocally characterizes the facet of the human psyche which functions below the threshold of consciousness. The young man was bemoaning the difficulties he was encountering in his attempts to come closer to God. But I really want to be a good Jew, he insisted to Rebbe Nachman. But, said the Rebbe, do you really want to want? And praise God, you've given me the physical, emotional, and spiritual will to overcome so many obstacles that have risen before me. How many times have I faced what I perceived to be impossible, hopeless situations, and withstood them, and discovered creative solutions through which to surmount and master them. You strengthened me again and again. I know that you will never fail me. In God's will, merciful God, I know how very much you care for me. You've made me in accordance with your will. Why then don't I always want to be that which you've made me? Why do I so often fall short of all that you want me to be? In God's will, God, I want to be so many things, to do so much, to achieve so endlessly, but can anyone be everything? Do everything, have everything? You alone understand the fragile balance of my soul. You've invested in me the potential to make of that balance a perfect creation. Now help me fashion myself into just such a creation, in accordance with your will. Overcoming negative traits, oh God, help me perfect every element of my humaneness. Help me overcome all my...
billions of dollars in Vietnam when we should be helping the black community and the poverty-stricken. Like what are you doing?
But at first he was described in the media as a fervent Zionist. In fact, there's this letter that people say was falsely attributed to him, and it was called A Letter to My Anti-Zionist Friend. But some people say that he actually did write it. So he was I was just reading through something here. It says, King paid frequent tribute to Jewish support for black rights, defended Israel's right to exist, supported the Jewish state during the Six-Day War, and on more than one occasion opposed the anti-Zionist movement then. So there must have been some sort of shift.
There's two things going on. Number one, there's Jewish propaganda. Some of this arises during the BLM movement because they needed the BLM movement to not turn against Israel. So they had to paint Martin Luther King as a pro-Israel Zionist to convince the BLM rioters and protesters to not go anti-Zionist. Right, so there was a lot of propaganda that came out during BLM.
So basically, he had an enormous amount of influence, and they feared that basically the monster they created and propped up would be able to turn on them and get the influence against them, basically.
Bingo. The golem turns. That's exactly what it was. Right. And just like in the medieval times where, so the story of the golem is, you have the Jewish rabbis who create this monster out of clay to basically fight for the Jews and defend the Jews against their enemies, but then he gets too big and powerful and he turns on the Jews. And the rabbis have a magic word or phrase, they say, that then kills or takes the life out of the golem. Well, so when they create this golem, Martin Luther King, he gets too big and powerful and he turns on him, they use their magic. What do? They turn him into a sacrificial lamb and use his death as a vehicle to pass the Fair Housing Act of 1968, which accomplishes, finally, the full and lasting desegregation and integration of black and white America, and opens the door to the third world invasion being able to just perpetually undermine the white Christian, ethnic underpinnings of America. So they use his death in a magical way, if you will. They make him into a sacrificial lamb, right, to kill this golem, right? That's literally what they did. And
right.
And so those are the motives. Those are the motives behind the assassination of Martin Luther King. Now, to Myron's question, why didn't they? I think it's because he was just too far down. He was too committed. And we also know, based on testimony also from James Earl Ray, that Martin Luther King was taking up the Palestinian cause. And you can divine that anyway from his speeches and his activism of the time, because he starts talking out against colonialism, about the poor and the downtrodden, right? And he's taken up the cause of the Central Americans and the South Americans and the Vietnamese. So yeah, the Palestinians right snug in the middle of that. It turns out that people in his camp were reaching out to the Palestinians. So if he ever was pro-Israel, he was turning and he was becoming pro-Palestinian. And we know that Israel, they just couldn't have that. It was too big, it was too powerful. They couldn't have opposition like that coming from within, because the left, they just couldn't have that kind of opposition. So they had to get rid of him. He ran afoul of multiple Jewish power agendas and the Johnson administration agenda. So they had to remove him. And what's interesting, so he gives this speech on April 4th, 1967. James Earl Ray is busted out of prison on like April 23rd or April 27th, just like 2 or 3 weeks later, by, it turns out, the federal government. But nobody knew that for decades. It was a secret. But the federal government was actually an operation led by the federal government to bust James Earl Ray out of prison in April of 1967, just a few weeks after the speech by Martin Luther King. So the reason why I bring that up, Myron and everybody else, is I want you to understand that the plot against Martin Luther King, I believe once he gave that speech, announced his intentions, and the die was cast. Like, they knew they weren't going to be able to bring this guy back. He was off the reservation, and so they acted quickly. And within 2 to 3 weeks, they initiated their plan. And the federal government sprang James Earl Ray from prison in April 1967. Now, April 23rd, 1967, he'd been serving a 20-year sentence for armed robbery, okay? And he ended up escaping in a bread truck, okay, that was delivering baked goods from the prison bakery. And he hid inside that and escaped. And everybody for a lot of years just thought it was a lapse in security. But it turns out that it was actually a payoff from the federal government. Feds were involved, and they delivered $25,000 to the prison warden who made that happen. Okay, but now we're going to shift gears into James Earl Ray, because this is a very interesting story, Myron. James Earl Ray, again, escapes inexplicably, right, from prison. And he basically spends an entire year on the lam uncaptured. They're unable to capture him for an entire year. He travels around the United States, to Canada, back to the United States, to Mexico, to Canada, back to the United States. He's doing all this international travel all over the place. Nobody knows where he's getting the money. Nobody knows how he's accomplishing any of this, right? Like, how is he doing? They don't know how he escapes. How is he traveling around? How's he praying for everything? Well, it turns out that they set him up with an operative named Raoul in July of 1967. He's in Canada. He goes to Canada, and he meets an operative in a bar in Montreal named Raoul Coelho. And it turns out that this Raoul guy was a longtime associate of Jack Ruby. Jacob Leon Rubenstein, the man who shot and killed Lee Harvey Oswald, the man who was a member of the Jewish mob under Meyer Lansky, who was a weapons trafficker smuggling weapons to Israel. And it turns out that Raoul was a partner in this weapons trafficking operation. Okay, when they and this is going to be a little scattershot, but when they captured the white Mustang that James Earl Ray had purchased with money given to him by this Raoul, Donald Wilson, one of the FBI agents who searched the car, found a file with a piece of paper in it that had the phone number to Jack Ruby's Carousel Club in Dallas. Okay? Just let that percolate, all right? If you know about the JFK assassination and Jack Ruby's intimate involvement, here you have literally a direct connection to the JFK assassination and the network that assassinated JFK, all right? Who is the main handler for James Earl Ray, who's about to be set up as the quote-unquote lone gunman patsy in the assassination of Martin Luther King. Well, doesn't that sound a lot like Lee Harvey Oswald, Saran, the Palestinian terrorist who didn't even shoot RFK. Like, you see the patterns, you see what's going on here? But it gets even more interesting, Myron. It gets even more interesting because the identity that James Earl Ray assumes for most of that year between April 67 and April 68 when he assassinates Martin Luther King, he assumes the identity of an Eric S. Galt. Eric S. Galt. And he gets a passport in the name of Eric S. Galt. This allows him to travel to Mexico, to Canada, all throughout the United States unmolested. And why, you might ask, does this Eric S. Galt passport and identity why does he adopt this identity and why does he travel around with it? It turns out we now know, based on 40 years of investigation by William Pepper, the lawyer who represented Martin Luther King and James Earl Ray both, and Saran, they discovered that Eric S. Galt's a real person who was a member of the National Security Agency and military intelligence. Eric S. Galt. So basically, if James Earl Ray had ever been captured, they would have looked up his name, seen that, this guy's untouchable, let him go, right? So that's number one. But the story gets even crazier. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it's every single time, Myron, every single time. So check this out. So Eric S. Galt was the head of, he was the head of a Union Carbide factory in Toronto. And I'm going to read something here. This is from Michael Collins Piper, the same guy who basically exposed that Israel killed JFK, Michael Collins Piper. He also did investigative work on this. Eric S. Galt was the head of Union Carbide's factory in Toronto. And Eric S. Galt had top secret security clearance. The warehouse he ran housed an extremely top secret munitions project funded by the CIA, the U.S. Naval Surface Weapons Center, and the Army Electronics Research and Development Command. The work involved the production and storage of proximity fuses used in surface-to-air missiles and artillery shells. The company was engaged in high-security research projects controlled by the U.S. parent Union Carbide Nuclear Division, who ran the Oak Ridge National Laboratory. Galt was also cooperating with the 902nd Military Intelligence Group operation that involved the theft of some of these proximity fuses and their covert delivery to Israel. According to Pepper, Galt obtained a confidential memorandum issued by the 902nd Military Industrial Group on 17 October 1967, which confirms and discusses this operation, the project called MEXPO, which was defined as Military Exploitation Project of Scientific and Technical Division in Israel. So there it is. Somehow, James Earl Ray steered into the use of the identity of a real-life individual who had ties to Israel in the scientific and technical research angle and basically in the development of Israel's nuclear weapons program through the Union Carbide factory in Toronto, Canada. How in the hell is James Earl Ray running around with this guy's identity? And what are the odds that this guy's identity is intimately tied to a secret weapons program with Israel? I'll just let that sort of just,
insane coincidence. Of course, they're going to tell you that you're an anti-Semite and that's a wild conspiracy theory as usual. It just fascinates me, man, how, and I guarantee, dude, that link that you probably just made, that's probably why the files are still fucking classified, bro. What I've noticed with classified things is typically there's an Israeli link whenever they classify shit like this. It's almost every single time.
And in fact, you're right, because these James Earl Ray, Eric Galt records are, from what I've been able to determine, they're classified until 2027. I wouldn't be surprised if they push that back and keep pushing it back. But there's even more. But wait, there's more. Because James Earl Ray also believed that this Raul guy, had been traveling with a guy named David Graver. And Graver was involved in basically a mob looting operation of a bank called American Bank and Trust in New York. And this American Bank and Trust Company of New York was actually the restructured Swiss trade bank originally founded by the Mossad figure Tibor Rosenbaum. And you might remember that Tibor Rosenbaum was involved in another little company called Permindex. All right, I think you're familiar with Permindex.
Yeah,
I know Vince
very,
is.
very familiar with them. I'm actually pulling it up right now. Basically the CIA front. And we know Permindex had obviously a play in JFK as well. Clay Shaw, all these guys had links to that.
Clay Shaw saw it on the board, and it was a Mossad front helping finance Israel's nuclear program.
Yep.
So you had basically another scam here. They were looting basically this American bank and trust company of New York in a mob-style bust. They embezzled like millions of dollars of funds to help finance Israel's secret nuclear arms program. Here's the crazy thing. This David Graeber, who is a central figure in looting this bank to fund Israel's nuclear weapons program, he died in a plane crash in 1976, like 2 weeks before the whistle was blown on the whole scam.
Every time, man.
But wait, there's more. Because Raul gave another emergency phone number to James Earl Ray. If he was ever in trouble or needed help, he was to reach out to this phone number. Turns out that this phone number was to a company called Leventhal Marine Supply in New Orleans. So New Orleans, Clay Shaw, JFK, weapons smuggling. So Leventhal Marine Supply was actually owned by a guy named Samuel Leventhal, a member of the Zionist Organization of America and the B'nai B'rith of the ADL in New Orleans.
Of course. Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. So now what's interesting about all this is all of this information, it took decades to compile it, to discover it, to find the witnesses, but it's all been compiled by people who are completely agnostic to the Israel JFK tie. These people don't know anything about the Israel tie to JFK. They don't know anything about that. They don't know about anything about the Jewish ties to the assassination of JFK or the Jewish ties to the assassination of Martin Luther King. So a lot of these facts, I would think, to them seem maybe just sort of interesting or curious or superfluous, but to the trained eye who is aware of what's going on here, these things are like leaping off the page to me, right? So, I mean, we can get into the actual mechanics if anybody's interested in the conspiracy, the actual events of the assassination, like the triggerman, the setup at the hotel.
Yeah, you might as well, bro. I mean, I'm going right now. I mean, it's interesting how, because a lot of people might say, man, this is sloppy work by the Israelis, but you got to remember that 5 years prior, they successfully assassinated a president. So killing a civil rights activist really was like, we got away with killing JFK. I think we can get away with killing this black guy too, no problem. So, this was 5 years after the fact. And then when did they kill JFK? They killed MLK.
November 63, MLK was April 4, 68.
RFK dies literally 3 months later. Like 3 months later.
Literally 2 months later. 3 months later, yeah. So yeah, they're fixing now to whack RFK just 3 months after this. And by the way, there was actually plotted between in May of 1968 to use a mind-controlled MK-Ultra Palestinian asset to kill Yasser Arafat in 1968.
Oh, yeah.
In May of 68, which is right sandwiched in between MLK and RFK, they hatch an MK-Ultra plot to assassinate Yasser Arafat.
Since you mentioned American Bank and Trust, Sam, the same day that JFK was assassinated, November 22nd of 63, that's when the Mossad front bank, Swiss Israel Trade Bank, assumed control of American Bank and Trust. I put that down in the chat.
And that's Tibor Rosenbaum's funded bank, the Swiss, what you call it, Swiss Bank and Trust.
And we'll get these codes. There's Dr. Nice is up. Welcome. We'll go to original, and then I'll leave the floor to you guys. Have fun.
Hey, thanks, Drew. There, Dr. Nice. That hearing even Molly James' testimony was pretty tragic. Basically.
Sorry, Dr. John, before, can you just go? I said original, and then we'll go to Dr. Just because I promised we go to her first.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Original, you go first, and Dr. Nice.
I get lost. Thank you. I was just going to say the Lone Travelers conspiracy theories. My favourites were that Hitler is still alive, Michael Jackson, and somebody else. Elvis possibly, but I think Hitler would be like 130. He doesn't believe in gravity, but the best one is, I don't know if it's his, but I've heard, is that Australia and New Zealand are in fact the same island, and they just pretend to be two different islands for tourism reasons. And they just, when you land there, they just say, "Oh, you're in Australia," or "you're in New Zealand," which I tell my Australian friends all the time, because I find it just so bizarre, fascinating. So I love that. And then what else was I going to say? Something silly. It's not really a conspiracy theory, but I was in a space full of whinging white men who were like, they were taking turns to be racist and sexist and homophobic, all the usual, and all moaning, about, stuff. And apologies if you heard this, but I just loved it. This man finally got the mic, and in all seriousness, his thing to say was, "Do you know what? I'm still upset about the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics." I was like, "What?" He's so upset about that. It was nearly a year ago, and that's what you're so upset about in this world, like not the potential war, the wars that have been going on, or the people dying from COVID. No, the Paris Olympic opening ceremony, which at the time I think had some drag queens in it, and I was like, more drag queens. But I just found it fascinating that he's still upset about that, and not really anything else, and like that anyone would care, and also that even if he was French, no one would care. It was like, what? I just had so many questions, so I just had to share that with you because I found it just fascinating, but and slightly funny. But I hope no one else is still upset about the Paris Olympic opening ceremony. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Kendall. Yeah, there's some wildness that goes on for sure. But,
Are you talking about the predictive programming of that opening ceremony, about the angel flying into the sky with a vaccine up its ass?
Hold on, we got an order here. There's hands, so we got a couple before we get to you, man.
It is correct, though. We are talking about that. But yes, hang in there. We'll get you, Republican.
So, Dr. Nice, then Lori, then you can go, Republican.
Wow, I'm like all distracted. I don't know what that was. I have three favorite conspiracy theories, and one of them has been proven wrong. That was Trump dying on, was it April 24, 2025, according to The Simpsons? I might have the date wrong.
I think you're right, it's April or May, but yeah.
Yeah, it's already gone. It passed. So that Jimmy Page worshiping the devil one was a good one back in the early 70s. And Paul McCartney being dead on the Abbey Road album was really interesting. As far as Bowden goes, I just wanted to point out, this was not a hearing to determine her guilt. She had already lost. The hearing was actually to determine her sentence, and extenuating circumstances kept coming up, as far as could she explain herself. And so this is the appropriate time, if you're in front of your medical board, to be humble, repentant, show some growth, show some change, lose your ego. And she failed. And I thought it was hysterical. And I'm so sorry to say that.
She blamed everybody else for her problems. Everybody else. And then, like, the lawyer lady, she just kept going on and on. And it was just a never-ending story. The bottom line is she showed up with that nurse, or the nurse showed up without any type of court order to administer the said medication, nor was it faxed to the hospital. So no matter what they say, what verbal reasoning, no hospital is going to say, "Hey, court said this, trust me, bro," and let somebody come in and give medications to someone that doesn't have privileges in their hospital. That's crazy.
Oh, I agree completely. Well, so put yourself in the ICU. You've got a ventilated patient who is prone and has an NG tube, and a nurse who's providing that patient's, one-to-one care. A nurse is going to arrive and get report about the patient they're about to administer medications to. Are they going to get a report on allergies and contraindications? That's how we function in an ICU. Who put the NG in? Has it been verified? Did it just get placed an hour ago, and do we have to verify placement before I use it? I mean, these are ordinary things that we do in hospitals that nobody knows about. So the whole situation was just fantastically ridiculous.
Well, I like how she was like, when Molly James was up there, and they're like, well, would you consider a risk if a nurse that doesn't work there shows up? Would that be concerning on Molly? She was like, no. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
If I had an ICU and some rando came up, and tried to do things I didn't know, I'd be calling security because I wouldn't know who this person was.
Yeah, it's completely unverified, no credentials. It's like, is this the movie Catch Me If You Can? I mean, come on. You don't just walk into an ICU and start delivering care.
Doctor, I concur. What do you think, Doctor? I concur. That's what that reminds me of.
Anyway, I'll pause. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks. Let's go Lori, then Republican.
Thanks. And yeah, I want to add that Alex Jones and the Blaze are also in Texas. And who is the Mary that you're talking about? Is she one from a long time ago that lost her license?
She never lost it. Mary Talley Bowden. She never lost her license.
Thank you.
She lost her privileges at some hospitals, but this is for her discipline. And so, yeah, she's in hot water.
Thank you. I remember when she lost her Twitter account and stuff too. All right, thank you. Tally Bowden, because I want to look it up.
Oh yeah. Okay, and now we can go to Republican.
Yeah, I just want to read some quotes. This is Dr. Anthony Fauci. When people are vaccinated, they're not going to get infected. This is Joseph Biden, president. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations. This is Rochelle Walensky. Please mute. I'm not finished yet. Vaccinated people do not carry the virus and don't get sick. Albert Bourla, Pfizer CEO. There's no variant that escapes the protection of our vaccines. Bill Gates, everyone who takes the vaccine is reducing their transmission. Rachel Maddow, this is the last one. Now we know the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops. The point is, all communication is hypnosis. If this is an actual debate room about pro-vax versus anti-vax, I am a conspiracy theorist. I think the vaccine was a deep state plot to essentially destroy the fertility of America, to rape us up the ass with an unnecessary injection from a government-funded facility out of Wuhan. We need arrests now. Fauci, arrest. Joseph Biden, arrested. Bill Gates, arrested. Rachel Maddow, arrested. Albert Bourla, arrested. We need vaccine justice now!
Republican?
Let him cook.
Can you calm down a minute?
I'm hypnotized right now, so.
Republican, why?
That was awesome.
I might be going to your side. Look at this flag.
Republican, why did you believe those select people that you mentioned?
Believe them? I'm reporting the news that these scam artists have infected you with a mind virus, that your injections were completely unnecessary and resulted in sudden death. Sudden death!
Who died suddenly?
There was one sudden death, and I think it was maybe your common sense there, sir.
And my ears.
Listen, the point is, I am running against Darren LaHood, 16th District Congressman. He's a vaccinologist, told everybody, if you don't get vaxxed, we'll never be able to stop the pandemic or the spread. Get Moderna, Pfizer, J&J in your bloodstream now. Get an experimental mRNA cocktail stuck into your arm so you can possibly die of a sudden death. Heart arrhythmia, brain aneurysm. You're gonna die if you get this vaccine. We need arrests now.
Who created the vaccine? Who's the president? That called himself the father.
Dr. Bill Gates, the vaccinologist genius who started Microsoft Software Corporation.
Is the president of the United States in 2020?
Listen, the point is, Donald Trump, he was walked in by a bunch of vaccinologist liar frauds. He needed to fire Fauci on the spot. He didn't do it. We needed the "You're Fired" show by Donald Trump. He didn't give us what we wanted, but we are MAGA-ing now. MAGA now.
How's that going? How's the polls looking for?
It's looking great. Donald Trump is upsetting more Democrats. Actually, the real vaccine is Donald Trump because he's causing sudden death with Democrats. Their heads are popping. Their Doge scam is imploding. All their DEI and stupid bullshit is being exposed. Doge is exposing woke spending. We need to thank Elon Musk for this room, aka Adrian Dittman, because without Elon Musk's $40 billion in buying this platform, there never would have been an opening into the censorship industrial complex of the Democrats and the deep state industrial complex reports. So thank Elon Musk. Otherwise, this room wouldn't even be possible. Thank you, Elon, for exposing the scam artists, the frauds.
We were using it before you took over. Sorry.
Keep telling yourself that, you liar. Deep state infiltrators from the CIA, FBI controlled this app. Don't you know anything about the Twitter files and Matt Taibbi? You don't know shit, Dr. Vaccinologist. You probably are triple boosted. You're probably double vaxxed. You probably already had a brain aneurysm. Did your heart pop yet? Do you have a migraine and do you have pain in your hamstring? Do you have lower back pain?
Dude, all you did was look like a...
Are you married? Because I'm looking. Are you married?
Rosie.
I'm married to America, to Uncle Sam. We are going to arrest Dr. Fauci. We are going to arrest Dr. Bill Gates. And we are going to primary every single Republican rhino in the Congress till there's not one more COVID-19 vaccine scamologist in the Congress. They're all getting primaried, starting with Darren LaHood.
First troll attempt of all time, man. This is boringly embarrassing. This is bad, man. Please do something new. Like, we haven't heard this shit for 3 years.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Low IQ Dumb People who like to waste their time on X Spaces all night.
Conspiracy. How much is they paying you for this?
Listen, the people of America want justice against Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, the CDC. Robert Kennedy is bringing us justice now!
Can you share the script with the room? Because this is pretty embarrassing, man.
You're projecting your own embarrassment and your own stupidity, you sheep! You lemming! You slave to the deep state!
I'm a boisterous troll, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we got you. Same shit at a different day.
Normally.
Tell us something new.
All communication is hypnosis. Wake up, sheeple! You voters, you're getting destroyed by property taxes, high gas, high electric. You're getting vaccinated with experimental mRNA cocktails that are defertilizing you, killing you. You're all brainwashed moron clowns, Democrats. You're a bunch of Democrats.
Oh my God. You make Scary the Numbers like saying truth or holy shit. But that was embarrassing for all the wrong reasons, man.
You're projecting! You're an embarrassment! Go call your mommy and ask her if she got vaccinated and whether or not you took your flu booster! Get your boosters! Go to Walgreens and see your pharmacist for your latest COVID-19 vaccine update!
I think he's one in 2 or 3 different lines at this point.
I do not tonight. I should though.
You know, 44 billion, not 40, by the way.
Guys, check the nest.
No, not much.
Thank you, Dr. Bill Gates. May I have another booster, please? Thank you, Pfizer. Thank you, Moderna. Thank you, J&J. Feeling great. My health is fantastic. All my problems have gone away with your amazing COVID-19 vaccine. Thank you for making me feel so much healthier. Thank you, Rachel Maddow. Thank you. Thank you, Operation Warp Speed. Thank you, taxpayers. Thank you. Thank you, Operation Heroes Act and spending $1.2 trillion and increasing the debt and increasing in inflation and enslaving our future grandchildren in a national deficit crisis where we can't even pay the interest payments anymore. Thank you very little for the $40 trillion.
Hey, Republican, before you talk, you have to share your script with the class. Like, it's not fair because, you know, it's so long and boring. Like, that's the only thing long, but not the only thing boring.
You just keep projecting all your boring content. You're not saying anything interesting. Try to be a little entertaining. Try to be a little funny. Oops, you must be triple boosted and double vaxxed. You're super boring. Hey, come on, everybody. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he's super boring and I'm more entertaining than him. You're super boring and you're projecting.
See, there you go, dude. You can't even come up with something original. This is sad. Come on.
Republican, do you know who my president
Give us a new conspiracy. A new one.
Oh my God, it's Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom's gonna be your president. I don't think so.
No, he's my president now.
Oh, you love Gavin Newsom. He's got great hair, but he doesn't have any brains. He's another moron.
But yet he runs the
PM, don't feed the trolls. He's just like rambling.
I'm not rambling. We need COVID-19 justice now, and Robert Kennedy is gonna give it to us.
Dude, if you're not going to say something new, we're going to move on. Because this is boring.
You're not saying anything original or interesting. You just keep repeating yourself about how boring I am. Why don't you try to be a little interesting?
Okay, thumbs down. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Who wants this guy to keep talking? Thumbs up if you want him. Thumbs down if you don't. Who says democracy is dead?
Who wants me to continue roasting these vaccinologists, scam artists, and fraudsters who killed your parents, killed your grandparents, and ruined 3 years of your life with their mask mandates and scams? Fuck them all, they're all liars. We need patriots, not boring people who project, you're boring, you're boring, you're not interesting, share your script, you're not interesting, you're boring.
Mandates and scams. We're all liars. We need patriots, not boring people who project. You're boring. You're boring. You're not interested.
Oh my god, my brain. No, I didn't remove him from the space. I just took him off speakers. If he can come back and behave like a normal adult, we'll bring you back. But until then, you can.
Hey Ken, how's it going? Good evening, sir. How are you? I said, how are you?
I'm okay, just okay.
Well, what'd you do today?
No.
Huh?
How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain. I have a roof over my head. My taxes are paid. The government pays me just to live. It's unbelievable. God bless Uncle Sam. He's a patriot.
Are they finally paying you some income?
Yeah, I'm getting paid.
Are you really?
Yeah. The government loves their patriots.
How the hell did that happen?
It's a miracle. I must have some lucky angel that loves me.
Well, what got it started?
Just a couple of prayers and a good book.
Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Thanks. How are your kids doing?
They're all fine. They're all fine.
Good.
So, are they giving you work to do or what?
Yeah, I'm running for Congress in the 16th District against a rhino vaccinologist and internet scam artist, Darren LaHood.
Well, so you're getting income, but they're not giving you work to do?
No, I got lucky. Some people, they got to work real hard for all their money. Some people don't have to do any work at all. Welcome to Congress.
Good for you, John.
Thanks.
What else is new?
Oh, nothing. Just the springtime is here. I've got plumbing issues. I got landscaping to do. I've been seeing this beautiful woman. Life is good. I can't complain. I'm getting sunshine. I'm eating delicious chicken.
How's your friend Marson doing?
I don't know. He lives at home and he's a crybaby. He rides a bicycle. He hates Donald Trump and he's triple vaccinated.
You know about that $15,000 he loaned somebody?
Yeah, he's a loser. He's never going to get it back.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to play tough, and he doesn't know how to take any action, so he's gonna lose his money. That's life. He's a schmuck. He should have put that money in the stock market like a smart person. He would have $40,000 by now.
Well, I told you a long time ago he needs your help.
He needs to go to the gym and read a book. That's the only advice I can give people. There's nothing else I can do for anybody other than give him 5 minutes of my time. But I mean, if he's not going to read any books or go to the gym, he's shooting himself in the foot.
Well, one of these days we'll get together, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, John.
Okay, take care. Bye.
representative, but of the people I knew, that's how it worked. And when I heard this discussion this evening, I was thinking, no, we don't do opinions in science. We do what can you prove? What is proof? What is evidence? What can stand up to peer review? And if your argument stands up to peer review, then by all means, publish it. But if it's gonna be just a lot of, this is my opinion and I disagree with everybody else, that's not science. That's opinion, and that's got no place in the discussion about healthcare. And look at it this way, when COVID-19 had just begun, I had to have an x-ray, and a friend of mine was a radiologist, and he showed me a short video of a guy's lungs that he was basically within a day or two of dying from COVID-19. I just said to him, where does the air go in? All that, it was just this large white mess. There was no space for air to exchange. And that's an illness. That's a severe illness that killed that guy and an awful lot of Americans and people all over the world. I understand that this argument, there are upsides and downsides to the COVID vaccines and boosters.